Hey everyone, this is Pig for Life, and today I'm doing a video review for Warbotron 01B Heavy Noisy, also known as Not Brawl. So if you don't know Warbotron, it's a new third-party company that's come out, and they're really specializing in combiners. So Warbotron 01, Warbotron 02, and Warbotron 03 are all combiners. And the first in their lineup is Bruticus. So this is actually the second member of the group. I don't have the first member yet. So this is WB-01B. And again, that is Heavy Noisy, also known as Not Brawl. So let's start off as always with the packaging review. And this is actually really nice. I think of all the packaging I've seen, whether it's third party or Hasbro or Takara, I think this is probably the nicest packaging I've seen. First, it comes in this nice reflective silver slipcover that surrounds the box, and you can see a really nice line art of Brawl and then of the combined form of Bruticus. On this side here, let me back up a bit. Actually, I'll just scroll up there. On this side, all it says Heavy Noisy. On the back, you may look at it and be like, this doesn't really do anything. It's because if you turn on the side, which I don't know why they do that, if you turn on the side, it's part of a collage that will be made with when you have all the 5 members of Warbotron, and they'll be an entire scene. It looks like a destruction scene of Bruticus, and this looks like Brawl right now in leg form. So going back on this side, let's see, there's a nice kind of like army green. This is Warbotron. On the side here it says Warbotron, and then on the top is really nothing. So that's really it for the slipcase. But again, this is really nice that they even included that and that they are pulling it together as a major collage. So let's go ahead and get this slipcase off. And the slipcase itself is really thick cardboard, but the packaging here is also really nice. So in contrast to the slipcase, the actual box has a full color version of their Heavy Noisy, again, Not Brawl. And you get this nice window that you can see the robot mode of Brawl in there. Again, you can see WB-01 WB-01B set. So again, this is the second. So they count all of their members through the alphabet A, B, C, D, E. Heavy Noisy, which is a really odd name. I don't know what's going on with that. There's nothing on the side here. On the back, it's very simple. It just says Warbotron, again, the set, Heavy Noisy, and then it has some of their website, email, Facebook, and then it says specification and colors of contents may vary from photo, which I don't know why they have. The only other thing that is on the packaging is on the one side here, and it goes with that same image of Heavy Noisy. Gives him like a, I guess, ID number, and it says WB-01B 2014-04. So I guess was supposed to come out in April of 2014, which it didn't. It came out much later. And then the rank of Sergeant, which is just Sergeant spelled incorrectly. Action Team, Marshal Master, and then a misspelling of armed from the Armed Forces of the Warbotron. And that's it for that side. There's nothing on the top, and I actually don't know if there's anything on the bottom. Just Warbotron, more info, made in China, and warnings and stuff like that. So I spent a little bit more time on the packaging than I usually do, but it's because this packaging is really, really nice. And it's really high quality, nice vibrant colors, It doesn't feel flimsy at all. Again, even this box, let alone the slipcover, feels really, really great. So let's try to get this open. The one thing I will say is that since it's so nicely packaged, it's hard to get in here. So let's just open that side up. Actually, I'll flip it around so you guys can see as I unbox. So here we go. So this is Heavy Noisy in packaging. Aside from what you saw earlier through the window, you see his accessories, and it basically is a turret which acts as a shield and a gun, as well as 2 handguns. And in the back, what comes packaged with this is also the instructions, which are actually in the form of a comic book. So the comic book does double duty as a instruction manual, as well as just for entertainment purposes, part of the story. So as I said, this is the second part of the set, second member of the set. The first member I don't have yet, which is Airburst. They're actually, I believe, re-releasing it. The first run kind of had some issues with some pieces and quality, so I hear that they're re-releasing it and providing some parts as fixes. So this is the comic book, which again is reusing that image. I really do love that drawing. The artist, whoever it is really talented. Nice and gritty. And again on the back, the same image. I'm not going to go through this entire comic, but it's a continuation of the first one. Maybe if I after I get all of these, maybe I'll go through the comics and tell you the entire story as part of a video review. And then you also get this bio card, which have really become a standard with third-party companies. This one's nice and plastic as opposed to cardboard, which is nice. Some stats, some basic stats: skill 3, strength 5, intelligence 3, and some of that repeated information that we saw on the side of the box. So we're going to get this out of the way and finally get into some review. So since he's packaged in robot mode, I'll start my review in robot mode. So from the looks of him, he looks quite good. Just on first blush, I think he looks like a really nice representation of Brawl. He has that nice army color and some purple accents and gray. That's predominantly his colors. His face sculpt, let's zoom in here, is pretty basic for what it is. I mean, it's just a almost generic face mask version of a Transformer. I will say the paint apps on mine are not very good. You may be able to see it, you may not. Let me try to focus in real quick. The top of my face mask, there's paint issues, and then also the top of the crest, that silver part, is not particularly good. Even around here, there's some paint issues, but they're not terrible. Overall, I can't really complain about that amount of paint app issues. I mean, it's no Kronos. As far as his overall look, let's look at from the front, the side. The one thing you'll note from the side, if you lift up his arm, is he's completely hollow. You can actually see my finger back there. The back, again, very hollow if you don't use the turret. So the turret has a lot of uses, one of which is to give him more of a G1 look where it resides on his back, and that fills in that area there. Oh, and this side, which is the same as the other side. But I think the look of this guy does really look good. He does invoke the Brawl look from the G1 cartoon, and even to the G1 toy. So let's go ahead and go through articulation real quick. His head is on a ball joint, and it's also on the hinge for transformation, so he can look up a little bit more than you may need. His arms are on a rotation here, so it can go all the way around, but it's also on a hinge. I really don't like this articulation here for the arms. I think they could have done a little bit better. It's on this weird on the hinge that just comes out like this, and it has some filler here, but it really does, because of how big his shoulders are, you kind of restricted some movements, and it just feels really close to the body. It doesn't seem natural, and his posing, due to his articulation, poses are a little bit harder to get out of him, and that's in general with this figure, and I'll explain as we keep going on. He does have an upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. Oh, actually no, it's a single jointed elbow. You get nearly 90 degrees. You get a little bit of blockage. You do have wrist swivel, and his hands are just one piece on a pin, so all his fingers are molded together. There's some detail there, so that's nice. He does have full waist articulation. Can go 360. His legs are on double hinges, so they go forward almost 90 degrees, back 90 degrees, and then out. Not that far actually, probably a little bit better than 45 degrees. And it's because what I'll talk about is that this figure is really limited in his legs and his hips. Not because the joints themselves, but actually because the clearances. So you run into his hip a lot. Even if you go straight, at least on mine, you can feel it scraping. If you try to pull it out a little bit and then try to rotate it, you can't. You just actually can't without running into the hip, which is really unfortunate because he does have the articulation necessary, he just doesn't have the clearance, which is not what you want to see. His thigh has an upper swivel. His knee can go all the way back, and that's really because of transformation. He can actually go a little bit forward, so you can kind of chicken leg it a little bit. And then foot, he has a heel, and he has a regular small heel, and he has an auxiliary heel, an optional heel if you want a little bit more heel there, but it's only from one side. For one side, it doesn't actually have a whole heel, just this little panel here that comes out. Toe articulation, he can go down, he can't go up at all. Like, he's just flat-footed, and that really does, again, limit his posability. And I'll try to show that a little bit later. And he has this weird kind of hinge here that is like a built-in ankle tilt. It only goes inward. But it gives you a good range of motion. So if I were to activate both of these, you can get a very wide A stance, and he'll be standing flat, which is nice. It's the first time I've seen ankle articulation like that, but I mean, it's fine. And that's it for articulation, guys. Let's see. So his accessories, he has 2 handguns, which are identical for the most part. Very basic guns. And the other main accessories are a turret, essentially. So this piece is a big gun that attaches onto here. But in robot mode, you can use this a number of different ways. So you can pull up this sight, and then you can actually pull these down, rotate them down, and then flip this part up to get kind of a cannon action, dual cannon action. The gun you can leave like this, or you can fold it in half like this. I don't know why you would want to do that. In every single mode well, not every single mode. The only mode that is actually useful to fold this up is in leg mode, and he is one of the legs for Bruticus. But otherwise, it just makes sense to have it out. You can we'll push this forward, this little tab, and get a proper handle for holding it in his hand. He's not very good at holding it though, so I'll just go ahead and show you. You have to just kind of force it in. To be blunt about it, there's no really elegant way, so you just push that in and you close that up. And because of his shoulders and just the way his hands are, he doesn't really hold it that straight. I mean, you can force him to hold it straight, but you can't get any elbow action then. You can just basically go straight. So he has to hold it a little bit crooked. And it looks kind of, to me, it looks a little silly for him to have this gun. I mean, I guess you can say it's kind of a sniper rifle, but I didn't think it was a great way to display him. But he does have a lot of options with that. So for his top of the turret, I guess, this actually is molded differently, so you can actually hold it in both arms. You basically, there's slots that go around the treads that form the side of his forearms. They just slide right on, and they do work on both sides. It works a little bit better on the left hand for some reason. So you can get this going on. You have a shield, and you can plug these in here, these guns here, or here, or here. Oh, actually not. Yeah, you can get that in there too. So you have a few display options there. If you want to plug it in on the left hand, again, because of the way it's designed, you actually have to flip it around and plug it in this way. And this side's actually way more secure. So I think it might be designed to work like that, but I'm not sure. One of the things that is a shame is that you can't, or at least I haven't figured out a way to wear it as a shield with the gun on. Well, maybe you can do it like this. If you plug the handle in that way. Oh, yeah, you can. Oh, alright, well, I just figured that out on the fly. I hadn't realized you could do that before, but that is pretty cool. So you have like the whole turret on his hand here, which is a huge shield and gun in one. That's actually pretty cool. I kind of like that. The other thing you can do to give him some more accurate look is just fold this back up and attach this to the turret top. Is you can use this peg and plug into the back here, and this looks much more accurate because of the way this stands up to both the G1 toy and Brawl in the series himself, and the series itself. So that looks really good. You can get the guns in his hands. One thing I will say, and that a lot of people have noted, is that the guns are weird in the sense that they have tabs on both sides that fit into the hand. There's slots in the top of the fist. So you're not supposed to like kind of tab it in. You're supposed to slide it in from the top. But because both guns have the tabs on both sides, you can't really push it in without stressing the thumb or damaging the thumb. What most people do are take a pair of nippers. I'm trying to find mine. There they are. So a pair of nippers, and basically just cut off the one side. And if you look really carefully, and you may or may not be able to see this, one of the tabs is actually longer than the other. So this side is longer than that side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a pair of nippers and clip this off, and this will be his right hand gun. And this one, the opposite. The right peg here is longer than this one. So I'll just go ahead and take a pair of nippers here and cut those off, and this will be his left hand gun. And that won't affect how you can use it anywhere else, because the pegs are quite good as it is. You don't need both, and that will save you from damaging your figure and will let you slide on pretty easily. You can actually put these in without sliding it all the way in, but it's really designed to go all the way in. And before we go on, one thing I did want to do is do a quick comparison to some other combiner, which is my other current combiner that's waiting to be completed. And this is Fortis from the Mastermind Creations Feral Rex, or Not Predaking group. And you can see they're pretty close. And they're both legs for their respective combiners. So this is really good scale. I don't know if people really consider Feral Rex a masterpiece scale. I do, but it's up to you. I think he works in a lot. They work in a lot of different scales, and since these guys are in scale with each other, I think that the Warbotron figures will scale well with a lot of different scales as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get into transformation. First thing you do is take off this turret. And since it's already combined, if you didn't have it combined before, you can just combine it now and set it off to the side. The next thing you'll want to do is, I'm going to start with the arms. So the arms collapse straight up, and a lot of people have very tight arms. What you might want to do is just loosen these 4 screws just a little bit, not even like a half turn, a quarter or maybe 1/8 of a turn at a time, and you'll be able to collapse it. Don't press from this using these 2 sides. Press for using these 2 sides, because you don't want to, because this is on a hinge, it's only on one single pin. If you push using this, you could definitely damage it, especially going the other way around. So let's collapse these. You can push this straight up, and it looks like it's done here, but actually you need to close that gap completely. So there you go, and you'll hear that snap. On the other side, do the same thing. There we go. All right, turn around to the back. You can rotate his head back. So the instructions say to rotate his head straight back like that. I don't actually like that much. Well, I don't know, I'm debating. I kind of like it like this, because then you don't see a face, but then you have this yellow piece that you see. So I'll do it as per the instructions. So you will rotate this back. Well, actually, let's open this up to just make it a little bit easier. Rotate this straight back like so. Rotate the arms so that they're 90 degrees back, and then you'll see the front of the tank already forming here. Okay, let's go to the bottom. Oh, one thing I will note is that I actually did some slight modifications to mine. So the inside of the legs originally had all this great detail on the inside that you couldn't see, and this was actually the outside of both the legs. So let me zoom in real quick. So this on the left were the inside of both legs, and I don't know why they did that. I think it looks much better, like just having this plain on the outside. I thought that was kind of a waste when they had this nice detail on the inside, so I went ahead and swapped just the thighs. You do have to take off these 2 screws here in the legs. Where is it? Yeah, these 2 screws in the legs, and then another screw in the knee, and then the final screw in the back of the thigh to get that to work. But they swap around just fine. It doesn't interfere with transformation or anything like that. But if you guys want to do that, I mean, it's probably not worth it, honestly, but I'm weird and I like the detail. So tangent aside, let's get back to the transformation. So then we'll go down here, raise this heel if you haven't already done that. You can close these heels and foot down so that they're flat, like so. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay, that's right. So we have to move around back, and there's these leg fillers that just rotate all the way up as like so. And then when you rotate these, if you bend them around like so, before you bend them all the way in, you want to rotate them 180 degrees, the toes and kind of like the shins. Rotate those 90 degrees, and you can now fully close the legs, and these tab together. Okay, now back to the upper body. You're just going to want to rotate these, rotate the front up and that will fit into, you kind of have to jostle these kind of in. The clearances are pretty tight. Just do that and close them up. Close everything up so it lines up. And then this flap will go ahead and peg in. There's 2 pegs will go into these holes. Come around back. These toes can now fold completely downwards to fill in the back. So see, this is what I was saying before. You can see the face, even with the turret. Which the turret, you'll have that peg go into that hole. You can sort of see the face, and then lastly, you can go ahead and unpeg these treads on the hands, and they slot in. So there's a peg that kind of slots in here. So just make sure that goes in all the way. Same thing on the other side. There we go. And there we have Heavy Noisy in alt mode, in his tank mode. And he was supposed to be, I believe, a Sherman tank, M4 Sherman. In the show, basically Starscream repurposes these World War II, I believe, junk machines, and implants the personalities of the Combaticons in them. And you can see with these guns, there's a couple different places where you can peg them in, here or here. You know, this again, I kind of like them here. They look like they're designed to be there because they again have those slots for the pegs on the side. And this looks really good as a tank. I really like it. It doesn't look like a M4 Sherman or whatever it's called. When I looked up what that's supposed to look like, but it does look really good, like a more modern tank. There's no wheels, so it just slides. The turret can articulate up a little bit more than 45 degrees and a little bit downwards actually. And one of the great things about this is, as every good tank should be able to do, if you unpeg it just a little bit, not all the way, you can actually get enough clearance so that you can go all the way around if you want to. You can even have a backwards tank, and this actually doesn't look bad either as a tank, all the way backwards. But again, you do have to peg it a little bit because these hinges do get in the way, but the fact that you can still do that is great. My son, who's 4, loves Transformers, but in particular any kind of tank Transformer he loves. So again, I think this looks really good. I do wish there was some wheels on the bottom. That's a little unfortunate that there's nothing like that. But as far as look, it's pretty seamless. You don't see a lot of robot parts on here, not a lot of gaps. From the bottom, you see some stuff, and you see the thighs and the abdomen, but it doesn't look really that much like a Transformer, like a robot with a box on the back or anything like that. So that's really good. And again, I think they do a really good job of bringing to life the look of both the cartoon series as well as the G1 toy itself. Alright, so let's get back into robot mode. So first thing you do is pull the turret off, and I'm not showing the combiner mode because I want to do that when I have all the pieces together. I think it's kind of silly just to show one leg piece without, especially with these guys, because they don't come with their appropriate fist or feet. So I'll show that in the combined video. So the first thing you do is go back and unpeg this flap, and then slide these out and collapse them on the arms again. And from here, you again kind of jostle these hands out. There's tight clearances on this, and rotate that forward. You can rotate the head up if you want, and then rotate this flap in, and that kind of fits in here. with the legs, split them apart. And then you're gonna bring up the toes. You can rotate this around like so. I don't know why it's not letting, oh, the heels. Rotate around like so. And then you can rotate the legs all the way down. And these flaps come in and become the leg fillers, the calf fillers. You can pull out the heel, the regular heel. And again, if you want, you can pull out that auxiliary heel. Turn that around. Let's bring that up a bit. Turn that around. And then you can rotate the arms 90 degrees. And again, here with the arms, just be careful. You, depending on how loose you made those screws, this may or may not be a challenge for you. And because it comes out in 2 stages, it comes out in that little first snap, which is the hard part. Man, sorry guys, I'm jostling the camera. There we go. So again, there's 2 stages. There's that one small slice here, and then the arm. And let's see if we can do that with a little bit less trouble on here, on this side. There we go. Ooh. Does make me nervous every single time. And we're back in, plug this back in where I like it. And we're back in robot mode. So the transformation is fairly simple both ways. Some people like it, some people may not. I think it's pretty satisfying. I think it's, well, let's get into final thoughts, I suppose. So do I like this figure? I do like him. I think the series is going to be a pretty good one. I do have some qualms that I'm concerned about. The plastic quality is pretty good, but I think some of the engineering design choices, like these flimsy hinges here, may cause problems for me in the future. I'm just a little bit worried about that. I think one of the major things is the tolerances. Again, that I showed with especially the legs, the clearances. Like you can't get that up here, and you can't pull out the leg even a little bit to rotate it forward. Really does hinder posability. His shoulders. I think it's really just a matter of maybe just because it's a new company, but I think the refinements aren't there. It could be better in some areas, and it's not. I do like how they filled in the legs here, even though it's a kind of a lazy way of filling in the legs. And so if you move the leg, this part's separate, so there's nothing keeping it in place. And this is a tool that they use with the other figures in the line as well. I do wish there was some forward angle so you can get some more posability. Some people say that the Warbotron is basically TFC under another label. Some people are saying that they share some designers or some designers left. I'm not really sure. I think it does have a very TFC feel to it overall, in the sense that they look pretty good, but the engineering is very simple. So I feel it's more simple, like a deluxe style, or maybe a Voyager, but it's not like a masterpiece style transformation or complexity that's really satisfying. I mean, they're fine. I think if you're looking for a really nice Bruticus, this is probably the one you're going to get, because it is pretty big, and I think the individual bot looks really good. So for I think the $90 plus shipping for these guys, it might be on the high side. Honestly, I think they're probably not $90 figures in my mind, $100 figures in my mind. I got these from a fellow collector who was selling his, and I got it for much cheaper, like around 70 bucks. And for that, I think they're definitely worth picking up. If you can get one on the secondary market for cheaper than the retail price, I think it's a good buy. If you're trying to get them for the full price, that's a little bit harder. You need to be into combiners, and or at least need to be into Bruticus, and this one has to scratch your itch somewhere, like whether it's with the individual bots or the size, the scale, or just the overall look that they have. I think they do look good. Again, I don't want to take anything away from it. I think there's a good amount of detail, more so than with a TFC figure, and I don't feel that the plastic is nearly as cheap. I think it's high quality plastic. So I think overall this is probably one of the upper tier third-party companies in terms of quality overall. I just think they need to work on a little bit better on some of the details and tolerances and clearances, because that just really bothers me, that I can't move out his leg and go forward. I can basically go forward like this or back, but there's not a lot of range of motion, even though the joints technically allow for it. So that's it for me, guys. One thing that I do want to highlight is that I did start a new website called Pig for Life Reviews, as well as a Facebook page called Pig for Life Reviews. So if you want to find those pages, do a quick search. I'll add links in the description as well, so you can find them. I'll be posting mostly my reviews, but also some Transformer news from now and again on those pages. Be sure to friend me if you like me there. Also, for the video, if you like the video, definitely rate it, subscribe. I'd love to have more subscribers, and comment if you agree, disagree. I've had some great comments. Give me suggestions on what I should do with my videos, and I try to listen to everyone, try to respond to everyone's comments when I can. So if you have a chance, please definitely subscribe and like and share the video. And up next will be this guy's partner in arms, Sly Strike, which is WB-01C. So I'll be doing a video review for him up next. Okay? Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a good one.